Welcome back to the Luminous Group's video series about using process thinking to improve results. Today we're going to be talking about process mapping, and we're lucky to have Rich Nave, one of our top consultants, with us. So Rich, good morning.
Good morning, Murray. It's great to be here.
Good. So we're going to talk about process mapping. Tell us a little bit about it. Why would you use process mapping to help process improvement?
Well, the first thing that we really want to achieve with process mapping is to make the process visual to everybody. Oftentimes when we think of the process, we may think of the end outcome, but we really don't think of each of the individual steps that goes into it. And so this allows us to really make that clear to everybody on the team what is going into the process.
Okay, great. So do we use these like maps, like flowcharts with all the symbols? Does that show do you jump automatically to where you want to be?
No,
A
really,
starting point.
the key is that the process map actually documents where you are now. And by doing that, it really helps us establish what the baseline is. And then we can start to make proposals for continuous improvement or change from that baseline. But one of the golden rules in manufacturing or in any process-oriented environment is know thyself. And so a process map is that first ingredient to know thyself, know what's actually going on within your four walls.
Great. So I've seen people that when they're doing mapping, they really love it, but they often hesitate because of the symbols and formats. Does it take much to learn process mapping?
You know, that's one of the great things about it. First off, there's a lot of software that can help you with this if you choose to go that route. But really, the process map is a communication tool. And so whatever you use that communicates effectively for your team, that's what's most important. There are some symbols that can be helpful, but you can look those up online. There's this great new tool called Google, and I think it's going to go big someday. So, but really, the more important thing is to think of it as a communication tool and use whatever works best for your team. And once again, it's the same thing with the software. There are lots of software tools, from free tools to some pretty expensive tools. What works for your team? What is easiest for you to use is what's most important.
Great. So I've got one last question for you, Rich. So what about the layout? How much detail should you get into? And at what point do you talk about responsibilities? What's the first pass of a process map like?
Well, really, Murray, it's a great question. And what I have found with some of our clients is that you end up doing multiple process maps. You may do a high level process map that looks across maybe the whole manufacturing process, but then you may go into a specific step of the process and do a process map in more detail in a specific step, particularly if that step is creating some type of problem, whether it's internal scrap or customer complaints, or even just is maybe the bottleneck in your process. You may go into that process step and go into more detail. You don't have to look at every process step at the same level. And so that's one of the great things about process mapping is you can use it however it's most effective for you.
Okay, great. That's a good overview of process mapping. If you like more about process thinking and how ways that we could help, you could visit our blog on our website. Our website is www.luminousgroup.com. LUMINOUSGROUP. We're also on LinkedIn. We've got a couple of discussion groups or threads and like to post upcoming public open events that we're working on. Until next time, we'll hope to see you in another video, and have a great day.
Our next video will be an opportunity for Murray to talk about risk assessment and using the process map to create the risk assessment. Something to look forward to.